Hello, everybody out there on YouTube. We are the Middle-Aged Guys, and we're going to be bullshitting about Nintendo again. I'm the Reverend.
The theme here.
Great Mouse One.
Before the break of the new year, we went ahead and we put out a few videos about Nintendo, one of which was very positive. We came really, really close to filleting them. And then another of which we weren't so positive about, and that was the one about Super Mario Run, and it's always on DRM. Now, Super Mario Run, as far as if you're just looking at the metrics of the number of downloads goes off the iOS store or the Apple Store, it's a huge hit if you're just looking at downloads. Currently, right now, Super Mario Run has been downloaded around 90 million times ever since it's been out, and it hasn't even been out for a full fucking month. Okay, it is the fastest downloaded iOS application ever. It completely eclipsed Pokemon Go, which for a lot of people, it's like, well, that's no surprise. It's fucking Mario, right? Well, the other side to it was that, unlike a lot of games that hit the Apple Store or the iOS or offered on mobile devices, it wasn't free to play. It wasn't laden with a lot of microtransactions. It had a $10, which a lot of people considered a premium price tag for a mobile game, which, didn't sit too well with a lot of customers, and also, as an effect, didn't sit too well with Nintendo investors too. But that's something that we'll get to in a second. As of this time, Nintendo, according to the iOS sales figures, okay, over 90 million downloads for Super Mario Run, but only 3 million of those downloads have actually turned around and bought the whole, paid the $10, the $9.99 for the full application. That translates out to around a 3% purchase conversion for all the people who downloaded it, which is horrible. No matter how you think about it, look, they could have gone out of their way if this was like a short development cycle, like 3 months or even 6 months, with like 6 people going ahead and putting together a mobile game. And with the amount of polish and presentation that the game has, it took more than 6 people to go ahead and do that. It was probably a bigger development team to go ahead and make this game. Even for a mobile game, all right, yeah, $3 million sounds like a lot, okay? But the mobile games that make $3 million for their publishers don't get downloaded 90 million times in less than 4 weeks. What are you guys' thoughts?
It's ridiculous. But look at the way the game was presented. It wasn't just a download free to play. Yeah, you went through 3 stages and then it asks for, okay, yeah, give us money so you can get the full game. And then there are all the repercussions of that. You can't play the game unless you're fucking online. Period. Period. And that was a big mishaps of it. And damn, that many fucking downloads. That means that all those Apple devices, because it's only on Apple devices right now.
Yep.
So it's like, man, but people, I guess, were expecting something more. And they were like, wait a second, I'm already fucking done. You $10? Get out of here. That's most likely people's reaction to that. Gray Mouse, what do you have to say about it?
90 million downloads. Did I hear you right?
Yep.
And at $10 to buy it. So we're looking at what, if my math is correct, $900 million if everybody converted?
Yeah, potentially.
Potentially, yeah.
To $1 billion. Let's just plus or minus it, whatever. I think the major problem with the thing, with the whole thing is $10 price tag. What mobile game do you know charges $10 to play? Are you freaking kidding me? $10 for a mobile game? All because there's Mario's in it? I really think that if Nintendo would have not have been so greedy, maybe put it down to $7.99, $6.99, or something to that range, they probably would have had a more converted fan base to buy the game. Oh, I finished stage 3, stage 4, I need to spend $5.99, $6.99 for the full game. Then maybe people would have bought it at that price point. But $10 for a mobile game? Are you fucking kidding me? And the fact that DRM, you have to be online in order to play it. The whole point of mobile games is that you can play this shit anywhere you want, whether or not you have a fucking internet connection or not. Because there's some places in this world where your service does not go out. And so if I was out there in the middle of New Mexico or Nevada and out in the mountains somewhere where there's nothing around, I can't play that game on my mobile device because there's no service.
Wouldn't she be more concerned about calling for help if you're stranded out there?
No. I did not say stranded. There are people that go out there. You know what I mean. But my point is this. I think Nintendo got really greedy on this, and this is their own fault. This is their own fucking fault that Mario Run has underperformed. I mean, like we said before, that DRM really killed the game. I mean, having a mobile game with Mario in it, that was gold. That was money just waiting to happen. The price point, and I think the DRM shit really tanked the game, and that's the main purpose of the game. I mean, I may be wrong, but that's just my opinion. So,
how many stages does this game actually have?
I don't know.
There's
actually save the princess, or is it just a going on forever type thing?
No, there's something like 7 or 8 worlds, and there's 3 stages for each. But there's something like 7 unlockable characters that you can go ahead and use to play through. And there's also the Toadstool Rally mode. Most of the people who have actually went ahead and bought the game and play it, from all the feedback that I've heard from them, firsthand, is that they've said that, yeah, they spend more time playing the Toadstool Rally mode, pretty much, comparing their performance and their scores against other people who've played through, because that's the multiplayer component.
The times.
Okay. On one hand, I want to sit there and say, I told you so. All right. On the other hand, the thing with the $10 price point and everything else, when it comes to a mobile game, what's funny is that before, what's his name? Before Steve Jobs died, he said the worst thing that he did was to offer free applications out on the Apple Store. All right. He said that was the worst fucking thing for the market ever. Okay. Because there was no way that you could sit there and guarantee that that publishers or developers actually get paid upfront for their work. And then also the other thing that happened as a result was this pay-to-play microtransaction bullshit that people end up spending hundreds of dollars on a free fucking title, okay, which everything is moving toward, not just mobile games, but even console games, all right? So he said that was the worst thing that he ever did, that if there was one thing that he could have changed before his time was up, that he would have never have released a free application on the Apple Store ever, all right? And I agree with him to a point, actually to a large point, because the thing is that $10 is a drop in the fucking bucket. If you sit there and you tell me that I got to spend 25 cents for a dozen jumps on fucking Mario Run, all right, or I got to sit there and spend $1 every time I run out of, my game is over to go ahead and play. Otherwise, I got to wait for 72 fucking hours. I'm sorry, that's not free.
I think the biggest kicker was always had to be online to play it.
No,
because as you just said, $10 is not all that much.
Well, but the thing is that the mobile market is different than the console market, all right? You have a console gamer who walks into any store with physical copies, and they sit there and they see a game for $10. You're like, shit, that's less than a rental. That's less than a set of rentals at Blockbuster when they used to be around, all right? In that case, it's like $10 is fucking disposable. But the folks who sit there and they game mobile, the casual player, the casual mobile gamer, and everything else like that, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna sit there, they're gonna download and dick around for 30 seconds for a free to play fucking game because it's free. All right, and all they have to do is tap once to go ahead and fucking install, and then they're off and running. Okay, that they don't have to think about it. Okay, now that you have a price tag attached to it, they've got to think about it. So yeah, no, that didn't help them at all. All right. Now, for the folks who didn't mind that $10, but were concerned about other things, about actually being able to play the game whenever they fucking wanted to, the DRM, that killed them from that killed their chances of looking at, oh yeah, maybe this is something that I want to fucking do. No, I mean,
well, look, let's look at it this way: a mobile game on a cell phone. You're either out and about in the world, on vacation, or traveling in a car. What happens when you go through a tunnel and you don't have internet connection going through that tunnel? Your game just turns off or whatever. What happens if you're in the mountains somewhere where you're vacationing in the mountains? What happens if you're vacationing out in the desert? You decide to go to the Grand Canyon. You know what I mean? It's just, it's really stupid of them to do DRM on a mobile game. And the fact that it costs $10, quite frankly, I'd rather it cost $5.99 and then charge me before it continues. Okay, I use 5 men, and if I want to continue the game from where I'm at, I have to pay 50 cents or $1.99 or whatever. I'd rather have it that way than have it, than have it a DRM set on it where I can play it whenever I want to. Or I can't play it whenever I want to.
So what you're saying is you rather have it arcade style.
Yeah.
Because, okay, the funniest thing about that is there are certain puzzle games that are like that. There are certain puzzle games, if you run out of lives, you can actually pay for more lives, or you can be patient
and just wait a day.
Time limit, yeah, and then all your lives will come back.
Yep. To me, I just feel that Nintendo was being greedy with a $10 price tag, and I think the DRM was the worst fucking idea they ever came up with. And they potentially left money on the table where people would go ahead and pay for their game at $5.99 or whatever a normal mobile game would be. Instead, they priced it up at $10 and they put DRM on it.
You know what? I disagree. I don't think they were being greedy at all. What's greedy is that, hey, every time you fucking turn this thing on, I'm going to ask you for money. That's greedy, right?
Well, might as well.
That's fucking greedy in my eyes. I'm going to completely disagree with you.
That would have been this. No.
How
you turned it on? No.
Yeah. However, the thing about it is that when it comes to this is, like I said, this is going to be a big growing pain for Nintendo. All right. And this is something that they're going to have to learn from, is that, look, if you're going to sit there and give somebody the option to own your game, to buy your game, to fucking own it, okay? Don't sit there and lash them, give them a leash where you have this always on DRM bullshit, all right? Nintendo, you haven't done this with any of your shit. You haven't done this with any of your shit.
Maybe they're getting people prepared for the Switch.
Fuck that, okay? Fuck that with a red-hot fire poker up a Ridgy Fields' ass. Fuck it with a red-hot naginata up fucking Shigeru Miyamoto's ass. Whoever the fuck the new president is. They have him commit seppuku over that bullshit. Fuck that, okay? No, all right? I do not agree with that at all.
What, you're going to have to purchase the Master Sword for Zelda?
All right. If I have to purchase the Master Sword for Zelda, I better be able to fucking use it. All right. If I'm running around with a sword, okay, it better not ask me for a fucking Wi-Fi connection. That's all I'm saying.
Look, I understand where Nintendo's coming from with the DRM. I understand that, but I don't agree with it. I mean,
I don't agree with it either.
the mobile market is very versatile, and I think they felt that since this is new territory for them, that they need to hold, they need to DRM their stuff to make sure it's not.
Not only that, but if you look at like what they're doing for Android, here's the problem with the price. Okay, is that the Android version is going to come out next month. Okay, and they're not going to sit there and be able to go ahead and drop it down like $5 for right now, because all of a sudden you're going to piss off the 90 million people or the people who bought it on iOS. Okay,
$10.
That the Android people are paying half price for it. They can't do that. But for some stupid reason, they were doing this pre-registration thing, and the thing brought it up to me, and he sat there and he messages it out, and I was like, dude, this is not a physical fucking game. What the fuck are they thinking?
That blew my. When I saw that, when I saw that article, I kind of scratched my head. It's like, what is this? Is it a physical game?
For some shit that you don't even own?
Is this something that I'm going to put on my SIM card, or I was like, what is this? Pre-order? Huh?
Well, yeah, I mean,
can I transfer the data to my 3DS? No.
I mean, like, what are you doing?
If it was a physical game, I could sit there and I can make sense of it. But this sort of thing, not to, because we spent a lot longer on this than I expected us to. Yeah, look, Nintendo. Look, for all the filleting and all of the high hopes that we have for Nintendo, we really hope that the Switch is gonna take off and be successful. All right, and I am not ashamed to say that, and that's because it's not just because I'm a fan. All right, it's because I really want Nintendo to do well. Look, if you're somebody who sat there and downloaded Super Mario Run and you didn't make the purchase because either you didn't want to pay that $10 or you realized that you had to be online all the fucking time in order to even be able to play it, guess what? You're not off your rocker, and if you didn't decide to go ahead and pay for it, you, all right?
You know what?
You're very discerning about it.
In all honesty, I would like you guys to comment in our comment section down below on why or why not you paid that $10.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in some feedback here. Why did you pay $10 for the Mario Run? Why didn't you play it? So please put your comments down below.
Or if you don't own an Apple device and you own an Android device, are you going to get Super Mario Run? Are you going to purchase it? Knowing all of this information, are you going to purchase it? Are you going to get it? Are you going to pay the $10? Knowing, okay, if you really want the game, that's fine. I understand. But are you going to get it, or are you going to pass it by? And if so, why?
Yeah, I would love to know. All of us. We would definitely respond.
Yeah, we definitely want to know on that. I mean, again, this is one of those things that this is new for Nintendo, and it unfortunately it came with a hard lesson, not just from consumers, but also from their investors, because their investors were pretty pissed off at the fact that they weren't going to be seeing that perpetual trickle that microtransactions affords free to play games, which is part of the reason why their stock has dropped like 17% over the last 3 weeks.
And that's a messed up thing, because their stock was high as fuck.
Now wait, do you think this is going to discourage Nintendo for doing mobile games? Because you got Kirby. Kirby's never been in a bad game. And
no, it's not. But
Kirby mobile game, that would be an interesting thing.
No, it's not going to discourage them from doing mobile games. What's going to happen though is that the consumers are going to get what they want. They're going to get a free to play game that's going to ask you for 25 cents for every 10 times that Mario fucking jumps. All right. It's going to ask you for a nickel every time you hit the B button to make Mario fucking run. Okay, and that's exactly what's going to fucking happen.
I know that you're exaggerating on that.
You're going to buy extra Tanuki suits and penguin suits for this?
I really don't think
that mushroom you just saw out of the block. In order to pick up this mushroom, it's 99 cents. That fire flower is $1.50. That's exactly what's going to fucking happen.
If anything, they'll pay. You have to pay a nickel for every 5 Marios that extra lives. But now I don't think they'll charge you every time you pick up a Tanuki suit.
You want to make a bet?
Actually, yeah, I don't see that happening. I really don't.
I would not be surprised if this happens. All right, especially if the investors insist that something like that has to be in place. All right. Now, whether or not that happens with this always on DRM bullshit, that's another story altogether. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to go away, which is another stupid thing. But let's switch gears really quick. All right.
I don't think.
Yeah, let's switch gears really quick. Okay. That doesn't mean that the outlook for Nintendo is all doom and gloom. We know that the Switch announcement party is going to happen on the 13th. But if you're somebody who's just had your ear to the ground, you've been looking at things that have happened with Nintendo in general, all right, and some of their other products, you would have noticed that Nintendo went out of their way and they renewed a trademark for the Super Nintendo, all right, which very much lends to the possibility of an SNES Classic Edition mini-type console in the vein of the NES Classic Edition coming to the fore. I know we've discussed it, but guys, now that they've actually went ahead and officially did the trademark, what are your thoughts?
Okay, look, if they're going to do this, make the controller cords longer. If they do come out with that. Or, as a matter of fact, have your Super Nintendo controllers compatible with it. I don't think that's going to happen. But also, if this comes to pass, have more fucking than 30 games.
No. That just does not make sense from a business standpoint. I know what you want, but it makes no fucking sense from a business standpoint. Look, if you think about it, is at 30 games.
What 30 games would they choose?
Yeah, but look, they could choose 100, and they're still going to be leaving shitloads of fucking games off the fucking thing. But my whole thing, as from a business standpoint, at 30 games. Okay, let's say they go ahead and put 50 on there. Are you going to be willing to spend $160 for it?
I know what you're saying, but because for every at $2 a game, 30 games, $60, $2 a game. For every licensed game, they have to pay whoever they're licensed that from $1 each. How many?
So yeah,
flashbacks are there?
What's up?
How many Atari flashbacks are there?
How many of those games were published by Atari themselves?
That ended that argument. And here are my thoughts. They're not going to extend the controllers because there's no money to be made by the controller extensions.
Actually, they can. Well, the thing is as long as it's a normal length, as long as they map the home button to start select at the same time, just hundreds of fucking emulators that are out there on the net. Okay, guess what? That'll work. All right.
I was just being facetious. Now, I am 100% for a Super Nintendo Mini. I mean, but like I'm kind of in the same ballpark with you guys. I mean, the Super Nintendo library is just fucking phenomenal. I mean, I'm not saying that there weren't any bad games. There were. But there are a lot of good games. How can you represent all of them? I mean, in just 30 games. What 30 games are you going to put on the Super Nintendo?
Well, we know what can't be there.
What is it?
We know what certain games can't be there.
Movie licensed games, and also probably sports licensed games.
But, I mean, what movie licensed games were actually good that you would actually want to play again?
Yeah.
Well, let's just be honest here.
Batman Returns.
Lion King.
1. Okay, 2. What else?
Aladdin.
For the Super Nintendo? Are you serious?
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. It's not as good as the Genesis one, but it's actually
that's what I was getting at.
But I mean, but in comparison, look at the RPGs. You know, Final Fantasy's got to go on there. Probably Final Fantasy 3 will go on there. Super Mario World.
2 and 3?
Yoshi Island is going to probably go on there. Metroid, Zelda. I mean, and that's just 5 off the top of my head. How are you going, ActRaiser? How are you going to get that?
Donkey Kong.
Mother, Earthbound.
Oh, Earthbound.
I'm thinking about
Killer Instinct can't be on there.
That was the point. The Battletoads thing, they can't be there. Killer Instinct can't be there.
Well, Killer Instinct on the Super Nintendo weren't that good anyway.
It's better than the Xbox version.
Oh, it's better than the new Killer Instinct. At least, anyway, that's a different story.
But you're gonna okay.
What 30 games can they?
Even if you have a top 10 or top 20 or top 30, and that's gonna be separated by people's opinion.
Absolutely.
You can name off games for this thing, and it's gonna be like, yeah.
Maximum Carnage. I'm just saying.
I doubt any Marvel ones will show up.
No.
Marvel has been so anal and tight about any of their licenses. None of those will show up.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, the DC ones are probably out of the question too. So
I would really think that they can. You know, I'm kind of in the same camp that Theme is in. I mean, I really do want more than 30, but I understand for 6. I mean, we don't even know the price point. We don't even know if it exists right now. You know, this is all speculation, of course. Everybody likes to speculate, but I would think they would stay to the same formula that they did with the NES.
I mean, come on, guys. How many games? Sorry to cut you off, Grey Mouse, but how many games are in your Super Nintendo library? Personally.
Well, let's see.
actually around 40 titles.
Yeah,
a little bit more than 30.
And I guarantee you, out of all those titles, there are certain titles that you're fucking missing that you would like to have.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, because the thing is, when you ask me, oh, so which Super Nintendo games do you want to have, you know, physically own? My initial response is all of them. But you know, that's just how that
even
goes.
Pit Fighter and Shaq Fu.
I don't fucking care.
Watch Shaq Fu be one of the games. Oh,
I said, oh, not play. But that's not to say that, you know, if you don't have like somebody who's technically sound or somebody who's enterprising or somebody who's willing to break their shit, that you can't, you know, expand the capacities of these particular games. Because what happened is that earlier this week was that, you know, like 2 weeks after the NES Classic came out, there was a Japanese programmer, Chinese programmer, who showed that he could install Linux onto the NES Classic Edition. Right? Turns out, after a few attempts, they actually have a tried and true process to go ahead and increase the number of games on the NES Classic Mini from 30 to 60. Now, it's very convoluted, and yes, you do run the risk of breaking your system. Maybe that's something that people can look into if they're willing to go ahead and do that, you know, and risk their $60 purchase. You know,
They'll probably never purchase it again.
Yeah, you know, because the thing is that I mean I've hacked systems before. I mean I'm not afraid to kill warranties. What are you guys' thoughts on that, really quick?
Look, we knew that people were going to try this. That's just a common sense of it. You were like, oh, 30 games, there's this. Damn, did you put Duck Hunt on it? And can you make it work for fucking... No. But anyway, we knew that something like this was going to happen sooner or later. It is like, yeah. But it goes back to the point of saying, only 30 games? Why not more? And they found out a way to put more. Yes, it's a big risk, but we kind of saw this coming.
With me, I find it very fascinating because all you need is a USB and a micro USB. That's all you need is a USB cable, pretty much. And then what you do is you just load up, FEL software on there.
So what they put
and you boot it. You go through the actual. I think the way you do it is you actually go through the boot up in order to do it.
Okay, so I would put. Well, I mean, in your opinion, what games would you put on there that's not already on this list?
Oh man, I'd put all the Dragon Warriors,
Dragon Warriors, yeah.
The Mega Mans. I put all 6 of those Mega Mans on there. I really would. I mean, there's a lot of games I would put on there. Seriously.
I mean, I would put like Wizards and Warriors, Legend of Cage.
They even said that you could actually extend it past 60. They just put 60 on there. You know, I mean, the NES ROMs are available everywhere throughout all the emulations. What you're doing basically is you're loading those onto your NES software, but I don't know how much, or NES Mini software, I don't know how much memory is actually there. Obviously, there's enough memory for them to expand it to another 30 games.
That's the funny part. If there wasn't enough memory on there, then this wouldn't have been possible. But maybe this to take the place of like maybe save points or whatever.
No, I think what's up is that, you know, if you're talking about just flash memory chips and stuff like that, the truth of the matter is that if you're going to go out of your way to actually find, like, I don't know, 512 megabyte SD card, you're probably going to pay just as much as if you were going to go ahead and purchase a 4 gigabyte SD card. So the themselves are probably have a standard capacity that is more than compensating for what they've got on there.
I was looking at the procedure on how to do it, and it takes save spaces, is what I understand, off of Super Mario Brothers, and you actually have to save your game, and you could go through that save. Pretty much, I think, wasn't it the same way with on the 3DS, how they cracked the 3DS with Zelda Ocarina of Time? Wasn't that a save process?
There was actually a few things, but yeah, one of them was a save exploit.
And I think that's exactly what it is. So as of now, Nintendo hasn't corrected that. So we don't know if this is actually going to work.
Isn't that the same way the soft mod the original Xbox with Splinter Cell?
It's pretty much the same way. It's what they're. I mean, it's really interesting to look at the video. I mean, but again, you know, it has big letters in there that says that there is a possibility of you breaking a system and you're out $60. And especially on how rare these NES Minis are right now, where you can't buy them at retail, or you can't find them at retail, rather. I'd wait a little bit. Hopefully that Nintendo doesn't
get like 3 or 4 of them and then practice.
But like you said, I mean, it ain't with a.
Maybe they'll be available by Christmas 2017.
I mean, if I can get a hold of an NES Mini, and it comes to a point to where they're always in the stores, I wouldn't mind doing that. But right now, I can't even get one to even enjoy it. You know, I'm not going to pay $100-something plus for the scalpers. No, I'm going to wait until I buy it at retail when there's plenty available. And then at that time, maybe I might experiment on it and extend the ROMs onto the system. And by the way, you have to actually put, you know, your for it to show up, you know, you have to actually put a JPEG in there of a copy of it. So it is very convoluted, like the Reverend was saying before. But hey, look, I don't know how much memory is in that, and I'm very interested. And for that alone, I'm definitely going to pick up a Mini. I mean, if I can expand it, I mean, come on, who wouldn't?
It's nice. It's a nice thought. As somebody who's voided multiple warranties on their game systems, the thing with any sort of hack is that yes, you do it at your own risk. This sounds not straightforward, but this is something that I was expecting to happen. You know, I think this is the fastest that I've ever seen it happen for a dedicated device that's put out there. And at the price point, I don't think Nintendo's going to sit there and chase them down and try to update firmware or any other shit like that. Okay.
Really?
Wait, this thing doesn't have to be online, does it?
Yeah, but there's still a way to update firmware through USB. All right, there's got to be. All right,
but it's not online. I mean, the only way that they could update the firmware is if they start production of a new generation of those consoles. And I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think at $60 Nintendo is going to give a fuck.
No, exactly.
All right. But it's really interesting to sit there and talk about. And, as somebody who's entertained by those types of things, I thought it was pretty cool. What are your thoughts, folks? I mean, we covered quite a few things about Nintendo, really the whole gamut, bitching about Super Mario Run, not really bitching, but, this is the state of Super Mario Run. It's not quite the success that Nintendo was hoping it to be, and not quite the success that everybody was expecting it to be, which I think has to stand as a good lesson to Nintendo. The trademarking of the Super NES, hopefully for another Classic Edition console. I would love to see an SNES Classic Edition, no matter how many games shows up on it, and then also the hacking of the current NES Classic. A lot of things to talk about. So give us your thoughts below. Leave us a comment. If you're so kind, hit like, hit subscribe. We're here talking about all of this stuff every week. And we're probably going to talk about more Nintendo stuff. We will be talking about more Nintendo stuff next week. We are the middle-aged guys. We've been bullshitting about nothing. Our bullshit ends here. I'm the Reverend.
The theme here.
Ray Mouse 1.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense, logic, and gaming. Good for Nintendo, bad for Nintendo. Nintendo being hacked. Wow. Come on, Super Nintendo Mini, please. Credits.
Hack the planet.
Hey, as long as they don't ask me a fucking quarter to hack it, I'll be fine. In fact, I will hack my shit so they don't ask me for more money.